This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. Sable has worked her way into a spot I didn't think there was enough room for her to be in, right behind the microphone. I've been waiting for several minutes for her to change her mind and realize this is not where she wants to be, but she is acting like she's going to take a nap here. So I'm going to record this one quickly so she doesn't disturb us when she changes her mind. All right, my working title for this episode is not going to work. In my notes, it says, "She knew I didn't mean it." Oh, yeah, I'm going to need a new title. But this episode is really about holding our vibrational ground when reality calls our bluff. And I want to start with a story. So last year, Rory McIlroy won his first Masters tournament to complete a career Grand Slam. That's where you win the Masters, the Open, the US Open, and the PGA. It's a big deal in golfing world. And it was a big deal for Rory because he had not won a major tournament in like 10 or 11 years. Oh, that is a long time to go when you're supposedly a big deal in golfing world and nothing good going for you. So anyway, it was a big deal for him to win the 2025 Masters because that's when he finally completed the Grand Slam. But this year, he wanted to win again, he said, in order to prove that it wasn't a fluke that he won last year. And if he did win this year, he would become one of only 4 champions to win back-to-back green jackets in their golf careers. That would be an amazing feat. And right out of the gate at this year's Masters, it looks like he might be able to pull this off. This guy's on fire. He had a 6-shot lead after 36 holes, which is really unheard of at this level. In fact, I think they said in 90 years of tournament history, no one had ever had a lead like that. Anyway, it looked like this guy was so far ahead that no one was going to be able to catch him until on day 3, he played 3 bogeys and 1 double bogey. Oh, that's not good in golf world, especially at the Masters. It's really not good. Oh my gosh, at one point he was multiple shots back from the leaders who were playing well. It's not like everyone was having an awful day out there because it was terrible weather or really bad course conditions. It was just Rory having a really bad day, completely losing his lead. But you know what he didn't lose? His head. He didn't lose his mental game. In fact, I want to quote writer Brad Stolberg on Substack. This guy wrote a book called The Way of Excellence. I almost want to read it because I liked what he said about Rory's gameplay so well. He said, "And yet, throughout it all, McIlroy stayed calm and collected. No thrown clubs, no screaming or shouting, no poor body language, just a relentless focus on the next shot. Whether it was from the sand, the wood chips, gallery, behind a tree, or whatever other predicament he found himself in, he hung in there. He stopped the descent. He prevented his bad holes from becoming awful holes. And then, stroke by stroke, can you hear the music? Stroke by stroke, he slowly began to turn things around. He started making pars and reclaimed the lead on 11. He made birdies on 12 and 13 to go up 2 shots. He never looked back. The rest is history." I love the way Brad described Rory's comeback. So, yeah, Rory went on to win his second Masters title in back-to-back years, which only 4 golfers in history have ever done before. Rory said in an interview that he uses a mantra I really, really like. He repeats, process over prize, to make sure that he doesn't get caught up in outcomes. Because when that happens, he says things can fall apart fast and it's easy for him to get caught up in outcomes. I think many of us can relate to that. But he says when he focuses on this shot, the one right in front of him, process over prize, that's how he got his game back on track. Okay, here's why I'm talking to you in this episode about Rory. His most recent win is a great example of how to play like a champion when it looks like you're messing it up. How to not give up hope when you're that far behind. How to hang on to your winning attitude when you're not winning anymore. And really what we're talking about here is the art of defying reality. When it looks like things are not going our way. How to stand our vibrational ground and hold true to what we want. This is so much easier said than done. As conscious creators, we've experienced this, right? Because it's easy to succumb to the current reality that we're facing, and in doing so, lose hold of our dreams and desires. When we look at what is, we're no longer fueling what we want. We're just creating more of the same, more of what we've already got. I mean, we know how this works, and still it's a challenge to maintain a focus on what we want instead of what we're getting. Like when you just blew a 6-shot lead in the most prestigious golf tournament on the planet with everyone watching, and you blew it. How do you not let that thought take over and ruin the rest of your game? Mental discipline is how. Practice is how. So impressive. Okay, so I've got another story. The other day we had a neighbor's miniature pony in our pasture. It had gotten out of their fence and came over to our place. And believe it or not, that guy is really hard to catch. This is not the first time he's been on the loose and we've tried catching him. Oh my gosh. They're small, but they're really, really strong and fast. At least this guy is. He runs like the wind. He's amazing. Yeah, if he doesn't want to be caught, he's not going to get caught. So it was like a neighborhood effort to try and catch this pony in my pasture. And I'm just going to admit, I'm not the most horse-savvy girl out there. My other neighbor is the expert. She was the one who was giving the rest of us instructions, including the owner of the pony, because she wasn't super horse-savvy either. This was their first pony. So we were relying heavily on my neighbor, who did know her way around horses, to give us instructions on what to do. And after a bunch of things didn't work, the new plan was to get my 2 horses and the pony in a section of the pasture where we could kind of contain them, and then my neighbor could throw a rope around the pony's neck to get a hold of him. So we finally got all 3 horses in that part of the pasture, except the gate that we were going to use to close them in, it didn't quite stretch far enough. There was a big enough gap for a horse to get through, and certainly a pony could get through it. So I was assigned the job of standing there to make sure no horses got past me so they couldn't escape through that gap. And I was like, easy, I got this. I know how to make sure horses don't get by me. I mean, it's not my first rodeo. I've done this before. So what you do is you just put your arms out, you just put your arms out wide. You know, you're trying to be bigger so they won't come your way and they don't think they can get past you. It was easy. I know how to do this. Oh my gosh, until those horses wanted out of that area and they were running straight for me. Even with my arms up, even with me saying not this way, Jewel came running straight for me. Even though I know all I got to do is stand my ground. They're not going to run over you, Jeanette. Look, I know that. And I said I could do it. When they assigned me to stand in the gap, I said I could. No problem. I got this. Until Jewel was just running straight for me. And then I cleared out faster than a tray of samples at Costco on a Sunday. Because that horse knew I didn't mean it. She knew. It was just, she knew. The fear in my heart. She knew I did not mean business. Oh, that moment in the pasture, oh my gosh, it was not good. Imagine a bunch of us have been working on corralling these animals for nearly 2 hours. And it looks like finally we have them. We've got them contained. The plan is working. And then Jeanette breaks form. Oh my gosh, everyone just... Oh, you could just feel everyone sag. Everyone was like, whoa, because it was starting to get dark and it was cold. It was windy. The sun had gone down. Oh, my word. I was so embarrassed, but honestly, it was scary. Oh, man. I thought I could. I really thought I could. That horse knew I couldn't. Oh, boy. Look, that's not the only way that I know how hard it is to hold your ground when reality isn't making it easy to do so. Yeah, I've got experiences you do too. Like when I quit my corporate job to follow my dream of supporting fellow creators as a manifesting coach. And yet my calendar and my voicemail and my email and my bank account all said, no clients for Jeanette. It was not easy to keep telling universe, thanks for all the fabulous clients. These people are amazing. I'm having the time of my life. That was hard. But I did because it mattered. And I practiced. I didn't get it right on my first day. I practiced. Or when my body was bigger and less comfortable than I prefer it to be, it's hard to get on the page of, I've got this. Things are getting better. I love this body and I love how I feel in it. Ooh, that can be tricky. Or when I was a divorced woman who hadn't had a single good long-term relationship to her credit. Yes, I'd been married for 4.5 years, but in my book, that one didn't qualify as a good long-term relationship. With that history, and my desire is to have a great time with one of the ones. That's what I called my guy, because I don't believe in just one. So I just referred to him as one of the ones. I just wanted a relationship with staying power. I wanted to make memories with someone, to build a life with an amazing partner, to be able to pick up the banner of happily ever after with the man of my dreams. Holding that vibe when reality is just saying it's another Saturday night by yourself, or another family event where I imagine everyone's judging me for not being able to do this one simple thing in life that so many others are doing, or another girlfriend confirming it's miserable out there and all the good ones are taken. Holding the true love vibe on that day after day after day, look, we'll have earned a green jacket too. Because it isn't easy to dream the dream that reality isn't confirming or validating for us yet. The dream of financial freedom when it's just bills, bills, bills. Or the dream of business success when no one's showing up to the party. Or the dream of good health when the body's saying, mm-mm. This is what masterful manifestors know how to do. How to not freak out when you blew your lead and now it looks like it's all over. Except we know it's never over. It's never too late to have what we want. All we have to do is stand our vibrational ground, even when it's scary, even when reality seems like it's got a whole different plan and it's barreling down on you. How to say, this is what I'm having, and stick to our story. Hold that vibe steady and ignore the contrary evidence. Man, it is not easy. Should I stop saying that, though, that it's not easy? It is easy. Or it can be anyway, when we do it just like Rory did. He kept his cool. This wasn't his first rodeo. He's learned how to handle pressure. He stuck to his game. He was all about process over prize. Just keep doing what he knew to do. It's the same for us as conscious creators. Keep doing what we know to do, and that's using our alignment tools. Finding thoughts that feel better, honoring inspirations, focusing on what's going right instead of what isn't. Just all the vibration management stuff that makes the real difference. And y'all, that is so much easier to do when we're not doing it alone. It's why Good Vibe University exists, because I knew y'all were going to help me get better at this, and I wanted to help you be better at it too. And I'm not saying I'm going to be fearless next time an 1,100-pound horse is running right for me, but I am saying that when it matters, with a little practice, I know how to not cave into the current reality. That's part affirmation, part truth, because I can waver, obviously. We all can. But I know that current reality is only there because of the thoughts I held before that brought it to fruition. And I know how to hold new thoughts. You do too. We've been practicing, right? And getting better at it every day. And our next preferred realities, where dreams and desires have come to fruition, they're counting on us to get our stories straight, to know how to hold that vibrational ground, which we know how to do. We've done it before and we'll do it again. This is worth remembering when you start wavering about whether it's possible, or wondering if you're capable, or questioning whether it'll work. It will. You can. This is happening when you decide so. Just stick to your routine that you know works. Don't let the gremlin fears dissuade you from it, because you've got this, fellow creator. And that green jacket, or whatever your equivalent is, has got your name all over it. I hope you got some inspiration from this. Thanks for listening, everyone, and happy manifesting.